Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business. And today I have an incredible guest, Matheo Galatis. Matheo is a transformational coach, and our topic today is know yourself and connect to your inner guidance system. Matheo, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
Hey, Mark. Thank you so much for having me here. Excited to have a chat with you and share some information.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Matheo. Before I get started, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Matheo is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Matheo, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure, Mark. Maybe a little bit of background might make sense. I started off as a chartered accountant, and for me, it wasn't my calling. Although I had a left brain mind, analytical mind, logical mind that could look at numbers, I was more interested in diving into human behavior and understanding how the mysteries of the world works. How does the mind work? What is behind the scenes of what goes on the surface of our lives? I was really interested in that. And that got me into a search for understanding human behavior and understanding how we operate as human beings. So I trained up as a coach. I trained up as I learned various forms of therapy. And it brought me to a place now where I support people to know themselves, to understand what is it that keeps them stuck? What are the recycled patterns that keep us stuck? How do we operate? How does the brain work? How does the mind work? How do our emotions work? How do our thoughts work? And also looking into the subtle aspects of how life works behind the scenes, because there's a lot that happens that we're totally unaware of. So yes. I like to dive into the background stuff and help people find the unknown causes for the challenges that they're having in their life, whether it's relationship challenges, whether it's business or financial challenges. I go in and find the root cause, and that's my speciality, so to speak.
I really like that, Matheo. I like the fact that you were a chartered accountant and then you have followed your calling, your passion, and you are serving others. I myself used to be a hairdresser and I changed direction in my 30s. So later on in my career, I'd done hairdressing for 20 years. And it takes a real courage to face your passions and your dreams. It's really a scary thing to do when you have got a paid job. So I really resonate with you on that. May I ask, Matheo, who are your customers? Who are your clients?
Mark, mostly I work with coaches or people that have already been in the personal development industry and worked on themselves sufficiently, but are essentially still stuck or finding they are having repetitive patterns or repeat patterns in their life and something's not shifting, whether it's on a relationship level, financial or business, or something keeps repeating itself and they don't know why. Those are the people that come to me because I'm able to support them to dive into the root cause and identify what's really going on and support them to transform that. So it's that class of people as well as leaders. I'm finding a lot of up-and-coming leaders, whether it's people in business or people in politics, coming to me, and there's a search for leaders to be more authentic and more true to themselves and to be more kind of internally strong rather than having to put up this external false strength in themselves. So those are the type of people that I work with.
You made some great points there. I really know that the work you're doing is really vital when you're especially an entrepreneur or in business. Personal development is so important, but your subconscious mind can hold you back. And there are so many belief systems from childhood that you don't even realize are holding you back. I am testament to this, Matheo, because I have really had to work on my belief systems and really, really do a lot of self-work to get to where I am now. So I know for a fact it's really vital in business, but also in entrepreneurship to get to those higher levels. You really do have to work on those subconscious beliefs. And not just only people in business and entrepreneurship. In general, your belief systems hold you back. And I can only imagine there are a lot of people right now struggling with things that have happened to them through the pandemic. This is going to really cause people to have negative thoughts and negative beliefs about what can be achieved in life. So I know the work you are doing is really impactful. Now, do you recall a specific aha moment that led to the launch of your business?
Yeah, sure. First, Mark, I'd like to comment on what you shared. I was kind of touched in a way and quite inspired the way you shared it, because I can really feel and get a sense that you've walked that road. And I'm very touched when people have kind of undergone their own transformational process and rise up, and you can get a sense that there's a level of depth in the background. That something, a person has stood up and taken their life in their own hands, and it's beautiful to see. So I want to just acknowledge you for that.
And I still am, Matheo, I must say. It's not something you do and you're resolved. I always say to people, personal development, belief systems, it's an ongoing journey. There's no better investment than personal development in yourself. I still work on all of these things on a daily basis through meditation, self-hypnosis, all of the systems and NLP I've used. I just think it's an ongoing journey. Do you agree with me there?
Totally. I do the same. It's almost a daily work that I'm looking at my thinking, my perceptions, my own beliefs, and everything becomes a self-reflection. And it's amazing. The one thing that I've learned and I continue to relearn, especially with the people that I work with, is life is a mirror. And the moment we are able to recognize that whatever's happening on the outside or on the surface of our lives is a mirror and a reflection of what's happening on the inside.
Yes.
And the beauty is that we have the power to change the inside. And when the inside changes, the outside changes. And this is incredible because people now have the evidence and the reality that life is truly in their hands. Their life is in their hands. They don't need to be victims of the outside world or of the patterns and the challenges of the things that happen on the outside. We truly have the power to change it.
I agree totally. So tell us about your ha-ha moment.
So I've had a few along the way, but I think, and they were subtle and there were many. One of them was sitting at one of my jobs as an auditor, and I was staring at the screen and discovered that I was bored and lifeless.
Yes.
And I was like, what is going on? This is not me. And I remember having the thought, I want to go back and be a waiter, because I had passion and action, and I was alive. There was a different energy. Things were moving. And here I was looking at my computer screen and staring at spreadsheets, and I couldn't. It was just lifeless work. For me, for some people, it's valuable work and they love doing it. But for me specifically, it wasn't me. And that was one of the turning points that started getting me to look at other options, other opportunities, business opportunities, and start to look outside and see, okay, what else can I do? Rather than going back, I didn't go back to be a waiter, but I did end up owning a restaurant. So I went through many phases. But yeah, that was one of the transition points. Another one was I encountered a person that was trying to enroll me into a kind of a sect, and that wasn't a nice experience. So that took me in a direction to look for healers and people that could help me understand myself a little bit more. And that was kind of the beginning of, the beginning point of me searching and seeking and going through different trainings and personal development works and processes and a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
We have been on very similar journeys in very different industries, but it's the same kind of story, Matheo. I remember when I was a mobile hairdresser, it was my own business. Every December, I would be driving around from one client to another, working really hard, struggling to make ends meet because it's not highly paid. You can earn a great living, but remember it was hard graft to make good money. And I was just tired driving around from one place to another. And I remember in between clients, Christmas time, I'd be thinking, because it's quite busy in a December, I can't do this another year. I just don't want to be doing this anymore. And that was when I found network marketing, and that opened up the world of personal development for me and the power of social media entrepreneurship. So it's just similar kinds of stories. And it really is true that once you start following your passion and building your passion and dreams, it's not like a job. Yes, it's hard in the beginning to gain momentum, but it's a journey and you are following those dreams and passions. And I think that is so, so worthy. So tell us, Matheo, what really motivates you to jump out of bed every single day?
For me, it's the excitement that another person that I work with can connect to their own truth. I go around on a daily basis and I speak to people and I see that people have moved in the wrong direction, or they're unhappy or unfulfilled. And I lived the same life. I saw it for myself and I know what's possible. And a lot of people don't know that a different life is possible. And for me, it's getting up every morning and supporting a person to transform a pattern. And this is what I love. I love the one-to-one work very much. So sitting with a person one-to-one and getting to that sweet spot, that core issue that's causing a lot of their challenges, that's what drives me on a daily basis.
And what sets your business apart, Matheo, and what unique need are you filling for your clients and customers?
I think for me, Mark, it's very few. I've found my approach is it's not a job. And you'll go to a therapist, or you'll go to a doctor, or you'll go to another coach or someone, and their approach is, this is my job, this is what I do. I love what I do. So yes. I think one of the things is it's not a job for me, and I care to take whoever I'm working with and go all the way to the bottom, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, how much time, how much effort, how much energy, I'm there with them to support them to step through the difficult parts, the challenging parts, etc. So I kind of partner with my clients, and I walk with them on the journey because I know how challenging it can be. And without having people walking with me on my journey, I would have struggled a lot, or I would have not believed in myself. So me sitting there believing in someone and knowing that it's possible, I believe it sets me apart.
And now we're in really tough times at the moment. Here in the UK, we've been locked down for almost a year, and we're in a worse situation now than we was last year. They're making improvements with the vaccine, etc., but the death tolls are higher now than they were last year. They may be coming down a little bit, and it's been a tough year. I've done great in business, Matheo, but I'm missing human connection. I'm a person of networking, events, coffees with clients or with friends. It's been a tough year. So my next question is, why is your service especially important in today's modern world? And I'm sure there are lots of reasons why it is.
Yeah, there are, Mark, and it is unprecedented times. And I think the work, my work, but more specifically the work of supporting people to connect to their true purpose. This is what we need more and more now, because there's a lot of people that are confused. There's a lot of people that are uncertain about their lives.
Yes.
And throughout the whole of last year, through the pandemic, I had no uncertainty. I had certainty because I knew where I was going and what I was doing, no matter what was going on. So whether it's shut down or no shutdown, or lockdown or no lockdown, I find a way to do my work.
Yes.
And it's not easy for most people, because some people are completely locked down from doing their works, and it's not easy that way. So finding some kind of a purpose, finding some kind of a meaning, and I think some people needed a break from their work because they, for whatever reasons, either they're overworked or doing too much. Other people need a complete change from their work. And I think the solution is for people to have clarity on what their own true unique purpose is on the planet. And I think that's why my work is important, because I support people to go backwards and resolve the beliefs and the patterns, the family patterns that have caused them to choose the wrong directions in their life, or the wrong relationship, or the wrong business, or the wrong friendship circles, whatever it is, to make the choice that's not totally true, but a choice out of dependency. And I support them to transform that and come back to what is true for them. And the moment someone identifies with their truth, they have clarity and certainty on how to move forward. And I think it's priceless having that at this day and age. And we need more people to connect with themselves. This time of disconnection, especially, people feel lost and they're losing connection. And the first step is to connect with yourself. Like, who am I truly? And to find a deep relationship with yourself first. And once that foundation is formed, we're already in a different world, and we can find a new foundation to connect with others. That's not based on fear or needing to fill up an emptiness or something like that. There will be greater fulfillment.
Yes, and I think now more than ever, we have record numbers of businesses going bust, record number of people losing jobs. The economy's not doing great because of it all. And there are going to be a lot of people who need to find that inner strength, the inner support, to really find what they really want to do going forward. And I know it's possible for people to really change their lives by working on their personal development, their belief systems. But when you're going through crisis like people are now, they may need support of someone like you to really guide them in the right direction and give them that belief in themselves. Because when you have lost jobs, businesses going bust, it's easy to go in a downward spiral and see all the negatives. So it's really good that the work you are doing can support people like this, Matheo. Now, can you share some detail on the kind of services and products that you offer?
Yes, Mark, certainly. One of the offerings that I have is a set of teachings that supports people to understand on a basic foundation level, and which is a summary of many different schools of thought, to understand how your emotion work, how your thoughts work, how your beliefs work, and how we're impacted and influenced by family systems. These I call the Know Yourself teachings, and they support people to connect to their own inner guidance system. This is my ultimate aim, is learn to guide your own life. You don't need my guidance or someone on the outside to tell you what to do. You don't need anybody to tell you what to do. Your own inner compass is already there, and the information is inside there telling you what to do. You just have to learn to connect and listen and pay attention. And I teach those, or I've created a set of recordings that makes up these Know Yourself teachings, and that's what I've made available for most people. The second part is for people that are really serious on transforming a pattern on a foundation level. That's when they get to work with me directly. And we go through a 2 to 3 month journey together to transform a pattern. And essentially what happens when they come out of this journey is they are more connected to their true essence, like what it means to be them without any beliefs, without any, let me step back. I'm not saying any beliefs at all, but without these beliefs that cause them to behave in ways that goes against their own truth. So I work on eradicating that over a 3-month process. And that has proven to be exceptionally powerful process, because I offer people a different foundation to live from, a totally different context where they now have the ability to, in a sense, take their life in their hands and live with self-responsibility and self-creation rather than dependency and struggling and challenges that they recycle from the past.
I think the work is vital, what you're doing. I just get the importance of it, Matheo, because I have been there myself. And sometimes when you hear someone like yourself or me saying it's so vital, you may not take notice of it straight away because you're so into your patterns of negative thinking and negative ways of attracting things. It is probably not the best way to put it, but I think people will get my point. Yeah. But I think that is when you need this information most. So I would urge people, if you are going through challenges and there are things that you could improve on, you are looking for change, you would like some kind of transformation, some kind of new beginning, reach out to Matheo. He knows his stuff, and he really does come from a good place, from the heart, which in business, some people don't come from the heart. So choose Matheo. I highly believe him. Now, Matheo,
thank you so much, Mark. That's so kind of you and beautifully said.
I know you have all sorts of client success stories, Matheo, but I just want you to pick one that stands out to you.
Okay, I'll share. This is probably one that I almost always share because it stands out. And I worked with a lady probably 10, 11 years ago. It was in 2010. It was in the beginning when I first learned to facilitate systemic work, and that's looking at transforming work on a family systems level. And this lady was looking to, she was abused when she was around 16 years old by a guy. And from then the relationship to her brother wasn't close. And what was amazing was in the one session, we did a group session with her, and this was on the Saturday, and I clearly remember it. We were a group of 5, and why I'm sharing this story is to see the power that something can change almost the next day. And this is what happened with her. We did the process, and the next day she went to her parents' home to have lunch, and her brother was there. Now, she never told her parents she did a process the day before. She never told her parents anything about what she did or about that. She didn't tell her brother anything. But she noticed her brother started behaving differently to her the next day. He was talkative. He was asking her questions. How's your life? What are you doing with your life? And she was like looking at him like, what? You never ask me questions about my life. What is going on here? He made her 2 cups of tea. He'd never made a tea in his life before. And from that day, she sent me an email a few days later, and she was, I can't believe how much he's changed his relationship towards me, his attitude towards me, he's talkative, he's all of this. And she's like, I don't believe it. And I'm like, well, yeah, these things happen. So I share this for people to understand that it's possible if you do the right intervention, it's possible that things can transform and be seen visibly in your life, in your external world. And I see this all the time where people's parents start behaving differently to them. The bosses start behaving differently. Their financial situation changes. Relationships start to change and feel calmer. It's evidence to me that when the inner world changes, the outer world changes. And it's such a great example of how we can truly have control over the outside world when the inside changes. And so important for this day and age now, because we really need the paradigm to change in this world, this paradigm of fear and control and this whatever's going on out in the world today, and everyone's uncertain. We need this entire paradigm to change and for people to rise up and be truly empowered in themselves, not falsely empowered or a false sense of power, but truly empowered, that they don't need to prove it. So that's one of my great success stories I like to share.
And what I like about what you do, Matheo, you can help people in business and entrepreneurs to really move forwards and get to that next level. But not only that, you can really support people who are going through real life changes. You can really have an impact to make a difference. And I love that you're coming from a place of service. How do clients typically hear about you? And are there certain life moments that usually lead to them seeking you out?
Thank you, Mark. Usually people hear from me from word of mouth. Previously, I used to do a lot of live events and talks, etc., but now it's not possible. I did move that to an online group, the Know Yourself group on Facebook, where some people have found me over there and some people that have followed me in the past. So it's a small group and people find me through that. I get some people from social media, but not a large amount. Most of the times it's people that have known me or worked with me already, or they refer someone. That's where people mostly hear from me. But to find me now, I'm on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Matheo Galatis Official, on Instagram at Matheo Galatis, and MatheoGalatis.com.
I find your work fascinating, and I've thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Is there, and I would like to add as well, referrals are a sign of a job done well. Now, is there anything we did not cover that you would like to share?
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to say thank you. I can your heart and care and the beautiful space that you provide here is incredible. So I really feel welcomed. One last thing I'd like to offer as a gift to the listeners. So if people want the videos that I have, they can go to my website and there's a place to access it, or in the Know Yourself group on Facebook. All my teachings are there and they're available for free. But what I'd like to offer is I have put these teachings in a little USB, and I've got one for Facebook and one for Instagram. So if the listeners are willing and able to go on and just like this the page where we share this show, and make a comment of the greatest learning that you received out of the show, or the greatest insight, please share that on either my Facebook page or my Instagram page. And I'll select one person that shares out of that and makes the most inspiring comment about what you learned out of this show. I'll get in contact with you, get your address, and I'll send you a physical USB with the entire Know Yourself teachings, which includes your inner guidance system, your outer guidance system, learning about how beliefs work, which includes thoughts and emotions, and also about family systems, which very few people are aware how much the DNA of our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, all the way up to 7 generations back can affect us. And this is something I like to go into quite often with people and help them resolve what they've inherited from their own ancestral line. So, yeah.
Interesting stuff, Matheo. Now, if any of our listeners would like to get to know your work more, and connect with you, or they're interested in the work that you do and would like to come and do some work with you, what is the best way for people to connect with you?
The best place would be to go to matheogalatis.com and click on a link over there and get in touch with me through one of the contact pages there.
I will make sure that's in with the interview for easy access for anyone out there that would like to know more about Matheo and get in touch. Matheo, I have really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much, Mark. I thoroughly enjoyed our time together. Thank you.
I really enjoyed having a conversation with you. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show. Conversations with leading experts in business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.